Hey y'all. Okay, tonight we're going to make, which I would call a southern favorite, some fried chicken and gravy and mashed potatoes. Now I'm not doing no biscuits. Most of the time you would have biscuits with this, and you're welcome to do that with yours. But you know we don't eat bread that much, so I'm not making any biscuits. But first thing we're going to do, y'all, is get this chicken battered up, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Okay. I have some green beans going over here, and my chicken, I've had it just sitting here marinating in some buttermilk and some hot sauce and some spices. My spices were, I'm going to go ahead and start putting it in my flour here, and then we'll talk a little more. That way I can kind of be going as we're talking. My spices that I put in with the buttermilk was garlic powder, onion powder, a little salt, pepper, and paprika. Okay, that's it. All right, and so I've just had that sitting there. And now with your buttermilk and your hot sauce, like, don't be afraid to put the hot sauce in, because it does not make your chicken hot. It just helps give it a really good flavor. Y'all just trust me on that. And then for my flour, I just have some all-purpose flour here, y'all, and I did the same seasonings: salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, a little paprika. You know, you can do any kind of seasonings that you want, whatever your favorite is. And you can do any kind of chicken for this recipe. Now, my favorite kind of fried chicken, y'all, is just the classic bone-in, skin-on country fried chicken. But I had these little boneless chicken. What in the world is going on with that one? I'm going to trim that up in a minute. We'll do something else with that. These are just some boneless little cutlets that I got at Kroger here a while back. If y'all will remember, I had got them to make a chicken parmesan. And you remember Braden got sick with that virus that I had. And so I ended up sticking the chicken in the freezer. And that's where it's been ever since. I can't do it with these gloves, y'all. They're too big. I can't do nothing with them. Y'all, let me get the rest of this chicken battered up, and I'll come right back, okay? Okay, y'all, I have all of our chicken seasoned up. Y'all know I cannot stand that part with that flour. And I've always used gloves to do it. But especially now that I don't have gloves that fit, I've got to get me some other ones that fit. It sticks to them and just pulls them right off. It is so aggravating. Anyway, y'all, I got our chicken all seasoned up. Like I said, these are just the real thin little cutlets. Now, if you want really thin little pieces of chicken like this, you can always get the chicken breast, cut them in half, and then you can lay, like I usually do, like a piece of plastic wrap or something over the top and beat them out, and you can kind of thin them out that way. So whatever you want to do. These are just what I had, but you can use any kind of chicken that y'all want to do. I think my oil is hot over here. I put a little piece of flour in there, and y'all can see it looks like it's getting crispy or getting brown, so we're going to give it a try. Oh yeah. And y'all, with these being so thin, they will only have to cook for maybe 4 or 5 minutes per side. I mean, not very long at all. See, that's a big one. Alright, I guess we'll get that one in there. But these are perfect if you want to do like the chicken parmesan and all of that. And if I do make chicken parmesan, and I will eventually for us, I do all of this just like I did. I batter them up in the flour, and then I'll dip them in egg and then breadcrumbs. So you can even do it that way too for this. I just choose not to. I just kind of do it just like this. But that's it right now, y'all. I'm just going to let these fry up. Y'all can see they're already getting nice and golden looking. They smell so pretty, or smell so good. I was thinking they look pretty, and I said that. I'm just going to let these fry up, y'all. I have a little dish out over here, and once I get down to like the last few, I'll turn my potatoes on. And our green beans are done. I just have them sitting here staying warm. Braden's already home, and he said he's starving, so we got to get this thing going, y'all. Okay, y'all, it has been a few minutes, and now we're going to do our first flip for our chicken and see what it looks like. Woo! looks good. And I meant to tell y'all, I'm just using a little bit of vegetable oil here. And if you have the little thin cutlets like I'm using, you don't need very much at all. I mean, you can see just this little bit that I used out of this bottle. It don't take much at all, you know, like it does when you're doing the bone in. Okay, y'all, I just wanted to show y'all our little split. Let me let you look at them. Ooh, they look good. They smell good too, y'all. Okay, I'm just going to finish frying these up, and then I'm going to get our potatoes going, which I've already showed y'all how to do my mashed potatoes. And no matter how much new cookware I get y'all, this will always be my mashed potato pan. You know, I told y'all that I can cook them in this. I can use my mixer in this. And that's what I love about it. This is my mashed potato pan, and I tell y'all, I guess I've had this thing 20 years, and I wouldn't take nothing for it. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get these fried up, and we're going to make a delicious gravy to go with it. Hey, y'all. Okay, look at our chicken. Our chicken is all fried up. Looks so good. Smells so good. Okay, I have our potatoes done, our green beans are done. Now the only thing left to do is make our chicken gravy to go with our mashed potatoes and our chicken. So let's get going with it. So here in my skillet, this is some of the grease left from where I fried the chicken. I measured it out to 1/4 of a cup, okay? I'm gonna turn this down because this thing is getting hot. All right, just remember, however much oil or butter or whatever you use, you want to do equal amounts for your flour. Okay, so that's always an equal amount, no matter how much you're making. You're making a cup, you do a cup. You're doing, you know, 1/8 of a teaspoon, you do 1/8 of a teaspoon. So always do that, y'all. And I know most of you know, but I always like to tell it just in case, because somebody may not. We never know. Okay? All right, so I have 1/4 oil, 1/4 cup of flour. Okay? We're just going to sprinkle that in. Now, most or a lot of the times, I will just use some of the flour left from where I battered up the chicken. But tonight, you know, it got so thick and I really didn't have enough, so I just threw it out and got some out of the bag. But you can certainly do it that way, okay? So if you have a lot of flour left after you batter your chicken, your pork chops, whatever you're cooking, and you want to make a gravy, go ahead and dip out some of that flour because it has all that seasoning and flavor in it anyway. So it works out good. So I'm just going to mix this around. As y'all can see, I so wish, and I know I tell y'all this all the time, I wish my big burner was over here, my small one was over here. But I'm just so much more comfortable cooking on this one because I've gotten so used to it. But I'm just going to mix this around. I want it to get good and dark, and that all just depends on how dark you want it to get, but I like for it to get good and dark. So I'm just going to keep mixing. Y'all, this chicken looks so good. Braden done come in here and got him a taste of it. He said it was good. You know, he loves mashed potatoes. So I got those made up, and green beans. So this is a good meal for us tonight, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get going with it because I don't want to keep y'all. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I have some chicken broth here. I have about 1.5 cups in here. I don't know that I'm going to need all that, but we've got it just in case, okay? So we're going to start mixing that in. Woo! Let's see. A little bit more and we'll be down to 1 cup. Okay, let's stop at that for now. We have 1 cup of chicken broth. Okay, let's crank this thing on back up so it can thicken up a little bit. There we go. And y'all know with gravy, the longer you cook it, the thicker it's going to get. So if it's ever too thin, just keep cooking it because it's going to get thick. Do you see how quick that thickened up? Like, I don't want it that thick. Y'all know I don't love a thick gravy. So we're going to definitely have to thin this out. Let's crank this thing down for just a minute. All right, so we did 1 cup. We're going to go ahead and put some more in here because I don't like it that thick. Y'all know I like a real thin gravy. And I've got some seasons over here I want to put in too. That happened so quick. It went quick. But that's the way it does whenever you mix oil and flour together, y'all. It goes fast. I'm going to thin this down a little bit, and then I'm going to let this burner cool off, and then we'll get back over there and get with it. All right, so that's 1.5 cups of chicken broth that I did. Now that's optional. You can always do water, you can do milk, you can do your gravy however you want. One thing that I like to add to mine to this, even though we did the chicken broth, I like to do a little bit of this chicken bouillon. I just love the flavor that it gives, so I'm gonna do about 1/2 teaspoon, y'all. Just sprinkle that in. I'm going to do a little bit of garlic, just a sprinkle. A little bit of onion powder. Now, had I used my flour that I battered my chicken up in, I probably wouldn't do all this, but since I didn't, we're going to. Just a tiny bit of thyme. Not much, y'all. I'm talking about just a little dash like that. Y'all can see it in there. And then a little bit of salt and pepper. So, sprinkle of salt. I like quite a bit of pepper. And that's optional too. Alright, let's mix those around. Get those seasonings in there really good. Now we can move it back over here to our burner now that it's cooled down a little bit. We can kind of turn it back up. And then one last thing that I like to add to my gravy for this is a little bit of heavy cream. I like for it to be like a milky type gravy, but of course you can do it however you want. So I'm thinking I'm going to do about 1/4 of a cup. Let's see. Yep, about 1/4, and that's going to be it. That looks so good. Alright, we're just going to let this heat back up for a second. I'm going to get me a spoon. We're going to taste it. You always want to taste your gravy because you never know if it has enough seasoning in it or what. So I'm going to do a quick taste test. That's very flavorful. It's good. Yep, I love it. That's really good. You can really taste that chicken flavor in it. I mean, I think it would be great dipping your chicken in or even for your mashed potatoes. Okay, y'all, I'm going to let this cook for just maybe about 2 minutes. And I'm going to try to get Braden in here and see if he'll fix his plate. And I'll be back. Everything is done. Okay, okay, y'all. Braden has done come in here and got his plate. So, y'all have me to do the taste test. I know it's not as good, but we're going to do it. So, I fixed my plate here. I have my mashed potatoes with a little bit of gravy on them. And then I have me a piece of chicken with the gravy and my green beans. I love that gravy, y'all. The only thing I do want to tell y'all is after using, you know, we put in that chicken bouillon and then I put in salt. It might could get a little bit too salty doing both. So kind of do a taste test before you add your salt or before you add very much to know how much you need to use. I don't want you to have your gravy too salty. I love salt, so it's not too bad for me. But I feel like it might be for somebody else, you know what I mean? So let's try this chicken. So, I'm hoping it will just pull apart because it's so thin. Yeah, look at that, y'all. I love these little chicken cutlets. I'm going to start getting these more often. They fried up so good and so easy. I love these. Those are really good. Let me get me a paper towel. Those are really good. And the crazy thing is, whenever I got those, I didn't even think about doing like a fried chicken and gravy like this with them. I was just thinking about doing, like I said, the chicken parmesan. But they're really good like this, dipped in your mashed potatoes. I love it. This is good. This is something I'll do more often now. I know Braden will love it too. He loves dipping his fried stuff in his mashed potatoes, so I know he'll love this. Delicious, y'all. And that gravy is delicious too. Like I said, just watch your salt if you don't love salty stuff. So just leave your salt out, do a taste test, and this thing is crooked as all get out. After you put your chicken seasoning in, do a taste test for your salt before you put it in, and you'll be good to go. All right, y'all, this is delicious. I want you to try it. All right, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.